Hello, you guys, and welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be.
I'm Whitney. Keep it cute, get the boot.
All right. Can y'all hear me? Can I get a thumbs up? Because I can't hear me. I can't hear me. Let me see something real quick. All right. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, chat, because I couldn't hear me. I couldn't see me. Okay, y'all can. Is it an echo? Is it an echo? Please let me know if it's an echo. If it's an echo, put a thumbs down. If it's an echo, thumbs down. If we're good, thumbs up. If you can hear me clean and clear. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and read the disclaimer until I see what's going on in the chat. Okay. Disclaimer, this platform discusses any and all information that has been made known to the public in any way. I am not a journalist. I am a commentator, okay? The views and opinions. Okay, good. So we're good. Thank y'all, because y'all can't hear me. I can't hear me. Okay, all right. The views and opinions expressed in this video and on Whitney D TV's YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect the opinion of Whitney D and Whitney D's YouTube channel. All topics are entertainment purposes only, comedy, satire, TV, mature rated. Okay, viewers' discretion is highly advised. All commentary is alleged but very real. Now, on the contrary, okay, we are reading the transcripts. Okay, now I told y'all I'm going to be bringing the transcripts to y'all. And so this is no different. It is raining here in the state of Texas. Well, I mean, I don't know in the state of Texas, but I will say in Dallas, it is raining, child. It is raining. The old man is snoring. Okay. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna try to get these transcripts in. So maybe later on tonight, we can already be reading Roshana. And I told y'all a lot of the YouTubers are ahead of us over here, but I am still going to do my due diligence of getting you guys, my viewers over here, the transcripts. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into everything. But first, welcome everybody. Welcome to Evidence Over Emotions. Where you guys tuning in from, please let me know by placing it in the chat. Okay. As well as make sure you keep it cute, so you won't get the boot, okay? Because my mods are on go, okay? And I appreciate each and every one of you guys because y'all love me and I love y'all so much, all right? Now, if you like to join one of the best channels, I might not say, you know, I might say so myself, you know what I'm saying? You can do so by clicking the link that is located under this video. All you have to do is click out of the, what is it called? Click out of the chat. All right, click your butt on up out the chat and head on over to where it says join. Okay, and you're good to go at that point of time. All right, now if you like to tip the hostess with the mostest, you can do so by sending me a Cashapp or a super chat that's located in the chat. WhitneyD TV 87. Okay, now that money will go to getting these transcripts because they're highly expensive. Okay, so they will be going to the transcripts. Okay, now for nothing, if you don't have Cashapp, at the bottom you'll see my PayPal information and my Zelle information. Okay, now I wanted to pop up on a scene with the gangster lean to you guys, because like I said, I'm gonna try to come to you guys tonight and do a live read. I want to go ahead and try our best to get to Rashonda's testimony. You know me, when I read it, I do a different depiction of the transcripts. I don't just try to read them and get them out there. I read, and we kind of have a commentary in between. Okay, so we're going to get into all of that, but first, let me go ahead and get into these comments. Hey Kamiko, thank you for joining. She says, hello Whitney D. Hey beautiful. Oh, there go my handsome Boo Bear in the building. Hey Lone Star, welcome. Afternoon, Miss Wit. What's up? What's up? Oh, there go my little niecey Pooh. Hey Flawless says, hey Miss Whitney and everyone. Hey honey. Hey. And everybody that's in the bushes, I know you probably got me on your ear somewhere. Again, you guys can tune into our podcast. I usually grab the videos and I put it onto the podcast. For those that are like, podcast, Whitney D has a podcast. Yeah. Okay, we're on Apple Podcast.
What
Check
up?
it
What
out.
up? Hey, lovelies. We are now on Apple Podcasts. Yes. For my iPhone users, just a little something for you. Head over to the Apple Podcast app and type in Whitney DTV in the search bar and click the check to add me to your dashboard and listen to your girl on the go. Powered by Anchor FM by way of Spotify.
Okay, check us out on Apple Apple Pod, Lord Jesus, on Apple Podcast, y'all. And for Android users, like I said, we're on Spotify and all that source. Hey, yes, Texas Strong in the building. Hey Monique, hey. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into these transcripts reading. Like I said, this is the first portion of the transcripts. So I would like to welcome you guys to another segment of the Road to Illinois R.Kelly track. You guys, let's go ahead and get everything underway. Okay, like I told you guys, this is the first portion. Okay, did I not set that up? Okay, this is the first portion of the trial. Okay, the opening credit, opening statements and things to that nature. Okay, and the reason why we're backtracking, for those that are like, wait a minute, what's going on? Well, I told y'all that I wanted to jump right into the cusp of everything. So what I did, I got the transcripts like midweek, right? And so that's why we were kind of a little ahead at first, because we had the transcripts in the middle, right? And so what I'm doing is I'm going back. So those that are trying to catch up and get abreast, you guys will have all the transcripts in order. Okay. So again, I know a lot of people are ahead of us on other channels reading the transcripts, but I'm doing this for my viewers. I'm doing it for you guys to be able to go back and be able to read it and have all the information. Okay. So this is the opening. Okay. And it's like roughly 60, 70 something pages. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. Please, you guys go add me on Apple. I am in the process of transporting all of the videos to audio over there. Okay. So from here on out, any video that I have on here, I'm going to do an audio version of it, and I'm going to have it onto Apple Podcasts. Okay. And so you guys will be able to actually listen to the transcripts without having to be, affiliated with YouTube. Okay. So thank you again. Shout out to Lone Star. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yay. I love it. Thank y'all so very much. Thank y'all. Yay. Thank y'all so very much. Okay. All right. So if anybody else comes into the building, y'all let them know what we are reading, what we're on, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to try my best to come live tonight to hopefully be on Rashonda. I'm going to read as much as I can today. Okay. So that's why we're jumping right into it. Okay. All right, you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it started. Let's get it started in here. Okay. Proceedings heard in open court. Jury out. The judge. Good morning. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Judge. Good morning. Please be seated. Things are never intended to be easy. Jury number 5 phoned in this morning and said she's having leg problems, can't sit, can't walk, and asked to be excused. I didn't see much choice, so we excused her. And she's replaced by jury number 71, which is an alternate number 1. 2 other juries are on the what? BNSF train. And it's late or something. So, well, we're off to a great start. It's not as bad as the last trial I had where we lost 2 jurors. We had 9, lost 2. The first weekend left us 7 for the rest of the trial. There was a motion filed as well overnight by Milton Brown. Thought about it, and just a clarification, excuse me. The clarification would be that the testimony about obtaining hotel rooms for non-indicted people, the testimony would be limited to, without naming him, just as employee. Perfect, Judge. Thank you. Now, Miss Bonjean. Good morning, Judge. I'm sorry. I do have something. Could you remove your, yeah, whenever you're addressing me, because of, well, never mind. I have difficulty understanding people when they talk to me through their, go ahead. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what just happened. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. I got kicked. I'm telling y'all, the weather is kind of funky out here, so I do apologize. Let's continue. Okay. Anyways, what was okay? Yeah. I just wanted to place an objection um, on the record to the government's use of synonyms for non-victims or non-minors. It occurred to me last night as I was preparing for today that there are parents. Hi, Leslie. Welcome. Um, Let me see. There are parents of one of the minors who are have synonyms. Hold on, y'all. Something is tripping. Okay. As I was preparing for today, that there are parents of one of the minors who are have synonyms associated with them, and frankly, I don't know what the authority is for that or why. I don't think there is any, but beyond that, it's going to make some cross examination difficult because I want I may want to question law enforcement. Um, what is this, child? Why is this popping up on the screen? Stop it. Okay. And so I'm going to be using a name that won't be recognizable to these people. And I guess they could have a code up there with them as well. But it's just, I understand. I understand for the complaining witnesses, the minors, the victim, for witnesses who are not, were never minors. They're just witnesses. Government, Your Honor, this issue was briefed weeks ago. There was no objection at that time. Your Honor concluded that the synonyms were appropriate in this case. In particular, the parents that defendants that are talking about are the parents of minor one, and identifying them, as the government wrote in its brief, would identify minor one. And so those individuals would properly be using a synonym as well. We Is that the only one, the parents of minor one? Yes, Your Honor. Okay, I think we will. I know you don't want to live with that, but hold on. Okay, good. I was just making sure we can hear. Well, I could the what's that? Oh, theoretically. I'm sorry, y'all. My little eyes. I could theoretically live with it, but I just don't know how to do a cross examination. So, if I ask a detective, "Did you speak to?" Right now, the ruling will stand. If you want to file a motion to reconsider, explain exactly what you see the problem, and because I don't, again, apparently it wasn't raised at the time of the motion in limb. So if you express, and then we'll get a response from the government in the interim. Um, we'll just continue the way it is, Mr. Bradley. Judge, on behalf of Mr. McDavid, I tend to agree with counsel for Mr. Kelly in so far as when we cross-examine the witnesses, we're going to have to call these people something. I mean, we're going to ask law enforcement officers for sure questions about interactions that they had with the parents of minor one. And so, Your Honor, we had issued the I'm still talking. Wait. You can't both talk at once. Oh, Mr. Brindley is on the. Sorry, Mr. Brindley. And so I think that if the officers don't know what I'm talking about, then we're going to have to stop so somebody can tell what I'm talking about. And I just wanted that to be flagged for the court. We'll do it, but if it becomes a problem or it becomes an issue, well, we're going to have to stop and finish. Well, the problem wasn't, as I recall, the problem. So no problem was specifically set forth. So I'm having a little difficulty understanding how the problem will play out, particularly practically. So I think if you can file a joint brief or something, and then I'll have the government respond to it. And then I I don't think it will raise a problem for the opening statements. No. So we have time to do that. That's fine, Your Honor. That's fine. With the government, we will respond to that. And for the record, the government produced last week the list of synonyms that are going to be used, and the witnesses are aware of them as well as we've presented them with them. And again, we're talking about two synonyms that are at issue here. Two parents' names. All right, is Mel still here? Do we hear anything from the jurors? About 30 minutes. Pardon? About 30 minutes. 30 minutes from now? Yes. Again, it wasn't meant to be easy. Time to write emotion, I guess. Yeah, we've got plenty of time. Well, you point down here. Uh, um, well, you might as well stand at ease. There's no reason for you stay point down here. I suppose we'll maybe check back in 15 minutes or so. Your Honor, while we're just waiting, there is a demonstrative. I just want to put the court on notice of this. I plan to use a demonstrative in opening statement. Hey, T Bam, welcome. Hi, honey bunches. Okay, fine. Any demonstratives, just make sure the only side sees them ahead of time. And so if there's an objection, I can rule on it. Okay. As I understand, the juries are here, so we will start up here. Brief pause. Jury comes in. All rise. Please be seated. Good morning, members of jury. As you know, we completed jury selection yesterday, so the first order of business is going to be the opening statements by the lawyers. Lawyers have to explain in advance what they expect the evidence to show during the course of the trial. They're intended to be helpful to you because evidence doesn't always come in a perfectly logical or a chronological order. So it's helpful to have this overview. The one word of caution is that what the lawyers say, since they are not witnesses and they are not under oath, what they say is not evidence. Okay, they can only predict to you what they believe the evidence will show. All right. At the conclusion of the case, if you determine that whatever the lawyer said was not what you remember in the evidence, then of course you follow what your memory is as to the evidence, not what the lawyers say. Okay. Because the government has the burden of proof, the government goes first in the opening statements, and they will go first in every other aspect of the trial, including the presentation of evidence. Now, after the government gives its opening, then you will hear the opening for the three defendants, which will be separate. Okay. So at this time, the government may present its opening statement. Opening statement. Good morning. The defendant, Robert Kelly, had sex with multiple children. He made videotapes of himself having sex with children. And these two defendants, Daryl McDavid and Milton Brown, knew about it. Daryl McDavid and Milton Brown helped Kelly cover it up and keep it a secret. Back in the 1990s, Kelly became a superstar musician, performing under the stage name R.Kelly. By 1999, he had already been nominated for 12 Grammy Awards and had won 3 of them. The whole world saw Kelly perform one of his most popular songs, I Believe I Can Fly, at the Grammy Awards. At McDavid and Brown, they helped Kelly manage his music career. McDavid was Kelly's business manager and accountant. Brown was Kelly's assistant. The trio of Kelly, McDavid, and Brown were close. You're going to learn that McDavid and Brown were a part of Kelly's tight-knit inner circle. Yeah, this is Kelly's public side I've been talking to you about. But Kelly had another side, a hidden side, a dark side that he, along with the help of McDavid and Brown, did not allow the world to see. For years, starting at about 1996 and continued through 2001, Kelly repeatedly had sex with children, young girls, when they were 14, 15, and 16 years old. Multiple girls, hundreds of times. Girls that young are minors. Now, you're going to learn that it was a crime for Kelly to videotape himself having sex with minors. Sometimes Kelly would record himself having sex with just one young minor girl at a time. Other times, he would record himself having sex with multiple young girls at the same time, or one young girl and an adult woman at the same time. Threesomes. Yeah, you'll learn that Kelly kept these videotapes close, because if the world found out that he was having sex with children, he'd get in a lot of trouble and it would ruin his career. Kelly and McDavid kept the women and girls quiet through threats and money payments. But when one of the videotapes depicting Kelly having sex with one young girl multiple times across multiple scenes went missing, Kelly, Brown, and McDavid went through extraordinary lengths to get those videos back. Yeah, this trial is about Kelly's hidden side. Him having sex with children and recording it. His repeated sex acts with 5 specific minor girls, and all 3 of these defendants' efforts to keep that from becoming known. The charges in this case are based on that conduct. Child pornography charges based on Kelly having sex with children and recording it. Conspiracy charges based on each of these 3 defendants' efforts to keep it from becoming known that Kelly was having sex with children, and to get these videotapes back. And child exploitation offenses. And at the end of this case, based on evidence you're going to hear, which I'm going to summarize for you now, you'll have what you need to find each of these 3 defendants guilty beyond a reasonable doubt as to each of the charges in the indictment. Now, I just told you a moment ago that there are 5 minor victims you're going to hear about during this trial. The minor victims and any of their relatives that testify, they may use a different name than their real name. I want to tell you about one of those victims now. And you're going to call her Jane during this trial. It's not her real name. Now, Jane grew up in Oak Park, and she was a fan of R.Kelly in about 1993. While Jane was still very young, Jane was part of a musical group that traveled and performed internationally. You see, Jane comes from a musical family. Her father played the guitar for a long time, including in the 1990s into the 2000s. Oh, sorry, y'all. I saw a comment. Jane's father played the guitar for Kelly. Jane's aunt was a singer. Jane thought of her aunt, who was about 10 years older than she is, as her best friend. Jane's aunt was a recording artist who also had signed a contract also to Mr. Kelly in the 1990s. Jane met Kelly in about 1996 or 1997 when Jane was 12 or 13 years old. Now, Jane's aunt, the one that I just told you about, introduced Jane to Kelly. Now, Jane told Kelly about her musical pursuits during their first meeting. And shortly after that, she began spending time with Kelly and with her aunt in a recording studio. When Jane was 13, Jane asked Kelly to be her godfather. Her aunt, the one that I've been telling you about, suggested that she do so. Hey, baby. Now, Jane thought that having a closer relationship with Kelly would advance her musical career. Not long after that conversation, Kelly persuaded Jane sexually. Kelly never became Jane's godfather in a religious sense, but being Jane's quote unquote godfather provided Kelly cover for spending time with Jane. Talking to Jane on the phone, spending time with Jane in the studio, having Jane out and having Jane over to his house over the weekend to watch his kids. We learned that Jane babysat for Kelly. You see, Kelly was a married man at the time with his own children. When Jane was 13 or 14 years old, Kelly was 31 years old. West Coast Bells in the building. What's up? Kelly took Jane's virginity. Kelly taught Jane what to do to please Kelly sexually. Jane didn't have any experience with sex before she met Kelly. Kelly told Jane how to position her body during sex or to touch Kelly during sex and what he wanted Jane to say to him during sex. One of the things that Kelly and Jane discussed while they were having sex was Jane's age. He learned that Kelly would talk to Jane in very explicit ways about Jane's body and certain parts of Jane's body being 14 years old while the two of them were having sex. Let me pause here. And I'll come back to that thought in a minute. I mentioned a couple moments ago that Kelly recorded videos of himself having sex with children. Now, this is back in the 1990s, before iPhones and Androids. Yeah. Kelly was using a camcorder to record himself having sex with the children. He was making VHS tapes. And you play VHS tapes. Hold on, y'all. You play VHS tapes in the VCR. Kelly recorded himself having sex with Jane in 4 different scenes. And during this trial, we're going to be referring to those 4 different scenes as video 1, video 2, video 3, and video 4. So let that be known for the people in the back. Okay? 3. Okay? 3 videotapes. Oh, I hate that. All right, but 3. Okay? Well, I mean 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Video 1, Video 2, Video 3, and Video 4 depict Kelly having sex with Jane while Jane is a young teenager and Kelly is in his early 30s. Video 4 depicts Kelly having sex with Jane and an adult woman. I'll talk to you about that adult woman in a few minutes. Hey, Liv. Hey, honey bunches. But due to the nature of the charges in this case, we're going to have to show you those videos of Kelly having sex with Jane. The videos are graphic, but they show what Kelly did to Jane. I don't want to hear nothing about no evidence. You're going to see, catch that? You're going to see, okay? See Kelly telling Jane how to position her body for the video camera and what to say for the video camera. You're going to see Kelly setting up the video camera. Didn't I tell y'all? I've missed you, girl. Good to see you still doing your thing. Love you lots. Oh, love you too. You're going to see, okay? You're going to see Kelly setting up the video camera. I tried to tell y'all, you see this man putting the tripod together with his dingy behind. You're going to see, okay? You're going to see Kelly adjusting the video camera and checking the shot when you're watching these videos. You're going to see Kelly urinate on Jane. You're going to see Kelly urinate on Jane's face. You're going to hear Kelly talk about Jane's anatomy being 14 years old in Kelly's own words. For example, on video 2, you're going to hear Kelly instruct Jane to talk to Kelly about her 14-year-old genitalia in very graphic terms while Kelly is performing oral sex on Jane. Disgusting. Absolutely deplorable. Absolutely disgusting. And all those that act as if they don't hear this.
I'm an idiot. You're an idiot. I'm an idiot. You're an idiot.
And all those that are still questioning if this man is guilty and listening to his music.
I'm an idiot. You're an idiot.
I told y'all the other day when I was reading, basically what he had her doing is like saying like, and this is graphic or whatever, but saying stuff like, this daddy 14-year-old pudding, you like daddy in this 14-year-old pudding. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he's saying. This fool is stupid. R.Kelly is dumb. I have no sympathy for this man. And you are going to see and hear Jane that she complied, repeating Kelly's command over and over. And you're going to let your hear the exact words. And you're going to hear the exact words that Kelly said to Jane and that Jane repeats when you watch video 2. Now, in video 3, a different scene. You'll hear Kelly refer to Jane's butt. And I'm quoting him as a 14-year-old ass. Kelly was in his 30s. Now, as you listen to the dialogue in the videos, keep an ear out for just how many times Kelly and Jane discuss Jane's age as being 14 years old on video 2 and video 3. You're also going to hear from Jane about the videos. Jane's going to testify. Jane's going to tell you that it's her on the videos. She's going to tell you that it's Kelly on the videos having sex with her. She's going to tell you how old she was when those videos were recorded. Kelly had sex with Jane. You'll learn hundreds of times in a variety of places, including at Kelly's home, in a recording studio, on Kelly's tour buses, and at hotels. Kelly instructed Jane to keep their sexual relationship a secret and to lie if anybody asked her about it. Kelly instructed Jane to tell people that Kelly was just her godfather and act very offended if anybody suggested that there was anything sexual going on between the two of them. Sounds so familiar. Kelly told Jane that the two of them would get into a lot of trouble if anyone found out that Kelly was having sex with Jane. Hey, Peggy Weggy. Hey, honey bunches of oats. In fact, you'll learn that in December of 2000, the police were investigating whether Kelly was having a sexual relationship with Jane, and based on Kelly's instructions, you'll learn Jane lied to the police and denied that Kelly was having sex with her when the police asked her about it. Kelly had sex with Jane's friends too. One of her friends that Kelly had sex with is Brittany. It's not her real name. Brittany was 16 years old. Another one of Jane's friends that Kelly had sex with is Pinky. It's also not her name. Pinky was 14 or 15 years old. Hey, Tavia, honey bunches. Kelly told Jane that he wanted to meet her friends and taught Jane how to have threesomes. Okay, threesomes with Kelly and other young girls. Jane was afraid to tell Kelly that she didn't want to participate in these threesomes with Kelly and the other teenage girls, but you'll learn that Jane gave into what Kelly asked for, including these threesomes. And unfortunately, Jane's story is not an outlier in Kelly's hidden world. The tactics that Kelly used with Jane are the same tactics. What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? Mind y'all, have I read this? No, I hadn't even listened to it. On the contrary, yes, I was listening over on Admin's channel to the transcript. But no, peep this. What did I tell y'all? Y'all gonna stop playing with me. Just common freaking sense. It says, oh, I can't stand this part. I can't stand when it does this. The tactics that Kelly used with Jane are the same. The same tactics, okay, that he used with Pinky and Brittany, who I just mentioned to you, who you'll hear about during this trial. And same tactics. He got better at it. They're the same tactics that Kelly used with Tracy and Nia, two other minor victims you'll hear from during this trial. Tracy was 16 years old. Nia was 15 years old. That's 5 minor victims in total. The victims will tell you that they were inexperienced and they were starstruck when they met Kelly. They'll tell you how Kelly isolated them and exerted pressure on them to cave in to his sexual demands, and how Kelly asked him to keep their hidden sexual episodes with Kelly a secret. Now, here's where the trouble starts brewing for Kelly, McDavid, and Brown. In late 2001 or early 2002, Kelly, McDavid, and Brown learned that video 1 had leaked to the public. Jane learned that her aunt had seen video one depicting Kelly having sex with Jane, the same aunt that I've talked to you about. Jane also became aware that other members of her family, including her parents, were discussing the existence of video one, but they hadn't seen it yet. So in early 2002, Kelly and McDavid met with Jane and her parents to discuss video one and the allegations that Jane was having sex with, or Kelly was having sex with Jane. Kelly told Jane and her family that they were either with him or they were against him, and that if they were with him, they would get through this situation together. However, but if they were against him, Kelly told them he didn't know what would happen. McDavid and Kelly told Jane and her family to leave Chicago because video one was about to become a major news story. McDavid and Kelly told Jane and her family to avoid contact with law enforcement about video one, and also to avoid the media. Jane's mother, and we'll call her Susan, is going to tell you that she feared for her family's physical safety during this time. McDavid and Kelly then sent Jane, Susan, and Jane's father out of the country for roughly 1 month. All expenses paid by McDavid and Kelly to hide Jane and her family away from law enforcement and the media. You'll learn that law enforcement was looking for Jane during this time. Jane was afraid that Kelly was going to get in trouble for having sex with her. Jane told her parents that they would lose her. They would lose Jane if she didn't give into McDavid, Kelly, any other co-conspirators' demands to deny that it was Jane and Kelly having sex on video one. You'll learn that Jane told her parents that she was suicidal while they were out of the country on this trip. Jane wanted her parents to side with Kelly. Jane believed that if her family went along with Kelly and McDavid's plan to cover up Kelly's involvement in making video one, that everything would be okay. You also learned that Jane got a tattoo while she and her parents were out of the country. Listen to this. The tattoo was Kelly's name, Robert, inside of a heart. Pause. Doesn't that sound awfully familiar? Again, this is the reason why I don't just read the transcripts. I take them in, because in times of this, awfully familiar. Somebody else had a tattoo with a heart who later got it covered up. Let me see if you guys will remember. Anybody remember who also had the heart? Anybody? I'll give you a hint. Joronda. Do y'all not remember that? She got a tattoo on her heart. Let me see if I can run it. Let me see if I can give y'all a good picture of that. Mm-hmm. Yep, there it goes. Let me share my screen. Hi, Sabrina. Let me share my screen and see if you guys remember this. Let me see if y'all remember. Who remembers Deronda's tattoo? Because I do. It got covered up. But let me share my screen. See, this is the reason why Whitney takes her time to read the transcripts, because I just like to have receipts of stuff. How many of you guys see that? I tried to highlight it. Okay. How many of y'all see that on her chest? How many of you guys remember her getting a tattoo? Okay. Let me see if I can zoom it in. Y'all see that on her chest? Again, I keep trying to tell y'all, this man is, oh my gosh. I wonder where she got the idea to get that tattoo. But anyways, I'll continue. The tattoo was Kelly's name, Robert, inside of a heart. When Jane and her parents arrived back in America, fearful of her family's safety and fearful that they would lose their daughter, they agreed to be on Kelly's side. They agreed to cover up Kelly's creation of child pornography and Kelly having sex with Jane. The agreement to keep Kelly's hidden side a secret continued to grow, adding more and more people to do more and more in furtherance of that agreement to conceal the child pornography and Kelly's sex with Jane. For example, you'll learn that when Jane and her family got back to America, Brown took Jane to get that tattoo of Kelly's name covered up. Jane has shown this tattoo to Kelly, but Kelly told Jane in response that Jane had to get that tattoo covered up. Wow. And you'll learn that when Brown took Jane to get that tattoo covered up, Brown didn't take Jane to a tattoo parlor. Oh, no. Brown took Jane to somebody's house to get that tattoo covered up. Jane also wore a silver cross necklace in video 1, and Jane was wearing that same silver cross necklace in her passport photo at that time. And when Jane's family came back to America, McDavid discussed with Jane how they needed to get rid of that necklace because that necklace would tie Jane to video 1. Kelly, McDavid, and Brown, they knew that law enforcement was investigating whether Kelly had videotaped himself having sex with Jane. McDavid instructed Jane's family to lie under oath in a Cook County grand jury that had began to investigate Kelly for child pornography in video 1 specifically. The Cook County, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office subpoenaed Jane and Jane's parents to appear before that grand jury. And McDavid instructed Jane and her family to deny that Jane was the girl in video 1 and deny that it was Kelly in video 1. Jane denied that it was her in video 1, and even she knew that it was her and Kelly in video 1. Jane's parents, they denied that it was Jane and Kelly on video 1, even though they knew that it was Jane and Kelly having sex on video 1. You'll learn that shortly after Jane and her family arrived back in the United States, that both of her parents lost their jobs because of the public scrutiny surrounding whether Kelly was having sex with Jane. And Jane's father, in response, began to play guitar for Kelly on a more and more regular basis to support the family. So basically, that was the only job that he could get. Wham. In 2002, Kelly was indicted by the state of Illinois and Cook County for child pornography in video 1. Despite the defendant's efforts to cover up Kelly's involvement in creating child pornography. But video 2, video 3, and video 4, those were still a problem for Kelly. And I'm now going to spend the next couple of minutes talking to you about how video 2, video 3, and video 4 became a problem for Kelly. In 2001, another one of Kelly's girlfriends was temporarily left alone with Kelly's collection of child pornography. Her name is Lisa. Lisa, she's the adult woman that I mentioned to you a couple of minutes ago. Lisa had engaged with threesomes with Kelly and Jane. Video 4, which I mentioned to you, depicts a threesome of Kelly and Lisa having sex with Jane. Lisa was 18 years old when she met Kelly in 1998. And Lisa, she had just crossed the age threshold into being an adult when she met Kelly. The first time, however, Lisa and Jane had a threesome with Kelly, Kelly told Lisa that Jane was older than Jane actually was. Kelly told Lisa that Jane was 16 at the time. Jane wasn't 16. Jane was 14. Kelly recorded the three of them having sex, and that's video 4. And back in 2001, when Lisa was left alone with Kelly's collection of child pornography, Lisa didn't want Kelly to have video 4 anymore. Remember, we're talking about VHS tapes. So Lisa, she popped those child pornography tapes into a VCR, and she went through them one by one until she found video 4. Lisa, she kept video 4 when she found it. The physical tape depicting Kelly and Lisa having sex with Jane in video 4. Now, that tape also contained video 2 and video 3. But Lisa, she didn't believe that she could keep that tape with video 4, video 3, and video 2 with her. You see, Kelly controlled Lisa's living environment. Lisa had met Kelly in Atlanta, and when she visited Kelly in Chicago and told Kelly that she had to leave to go back to Atlanta to work, Kelly offered to pay Lisa whatever she would make or her job to stay with Kelly instead. And she did. Kelly paid for Lisa to live in hotels and sometimes have Lisa stay in the recording studio with Kelly overnight. When she was here in Chicago, that's why Lisa didn't want to keep that tape with her. Lisa was afraid that Kelly would find her and beat her for taking it. Kelly had rules, you learn, that Lisa had to live by. Lisa had to call Kelly daddy whenever Lisa addressed Kelly. Lisa wasn't allowed to speak to other men, look at other men, or otherwise engage with other men. And if Lisa did, Kelly would physically abuse Lisa. Now, sometimes Kelly would control whether Lisa could eat. So Lisa didn't want to get abused for taking video 4. She didn't want to get abused for taking video 4 from Kelly's child pornography collection. Lisa mailed that tape containing video 2, video 3, and video 4 to a friend in Kansas City for safekeeping. You're going to hear from that friend, Keith Morrell, during this trial. And you're going to hear from Lisa also. Lisa, she left Kelly shortly after mailing that tape to Keith. But Lisa, she kept in contact with Kelly periodically after leaving for a number of years. Neither Kelly Brown or McDavid confronted Lisa about the fact that video 2, video 3, and video 4 were missing. Even though they didn't confront her, they all knew that tape was gone. Hey, Aaron. All 3 of these defendants were taking steps to get video 2, video 3, and video 4 back. And I'm going to talk to you about some of those steps. For example, in 2001, Kelly reached out to a man named Chuck Freeman. You're going to hear from Chuck Freeman during this trial. Freeman is also, Kelly asked Freeman to come to Chicago from Kansas City, and when Freeman arrived, he met with Kelly, Brown, and McDavid. Brown and McDavid told Freeman during that meeting that someone Freeman knew stole a tape from Kelly, that the 3 of them wanted that tape back and that they were willing to pay. Freeman used to be the manager of a music group that included Lisa's friend, Keith. They offered Freeman a large sum of money to get that tape back. You're going to learn that Freeman entered into a written contract on August 21st, 2001 with Kelly's private investigator to pay Freeman up to $140,000 to get the tape back by August 23rd, 2001. 2 days. You'll learn they wanted that tape back in 2 days. Now, the deal that I just told you about for $140,000, you'll learn, was a deal on paper. Freeman is going to tell you that the real deal was something they didn't want memorialized on paper. Kelly had promised to pay Freeman $1 million to get that tape back. Wow. Freeman did some investigating, and in short order, he recovered a tape containing video 2 and video 3, but not video 4. Freeman turned that tape into McDavid and Kelly's investigator, and then he entered into a negotiation to get the money that he had been promised. Freeman eventually met with Brown and Kelly at Kelly's home, and Brown placed a copy of video 4 into a VCR for Freeman to watch. Kelly asked Freeman where the copy of the tape was that contained video 4, because what Freeman had brought to them only contained video 2 and video 3. Now, remember, video 2 and video 3 depicted Kelly engaged in sex acts with Jane. But video 4 depicts all three of Kelly, Lisa, and Jane having sex. You're going to learn that Freeman hadn't seen video 4 before Brown popped it into that VCR for him. But after this meeting, Freeman knew what he was looking for. Freeman continued to investigate and learned that Keith had a tape containing 2, 3, and video 4. But Keith, he had his own plans for videos. And I'm going to come to those momentarily. In the meantime, Freeman wanted to get paid. He wanted to get paid for his efforts. And Kelly at this time had only paid him $65,000. $65,000 is less than $140,000, and certainly it's less than $1 million. Now, McDavid and Kelly, they kept promising to pay Freeman for returning video 2 and video 3. And you'll learn that Brown eventually paid Freeman between $10,000 and $20,000 in cash to keep quiet about returning video 2 and video 3, but not until 2008. Brown paid Freeman that cash to keep quiet about video 2 and video 3, while Kelly was on trial for having sex with Jane for video 1. During the trial, and I'll come back to the trial in a moment. The next day, after Brown paid Freeman that cash, McDavid paid Freeman an additional $260,000 in cash to keep quiet about returning video 2 and video 3. Now, coming back to Keith in 2007, the year before Kelly's trial, Lisa found out that Keith was shopping the tape around containing video 2, video 3, and video 4. Kelly's criminal trial was pending at that time, and the trial date was getting closer. And Lisa was concerned that Keith might actually sell that tape. Lisa didn't want video 4 out in the public domain. So you're going to learn that Lisa got in touch with Kelly. Now that is interesting. That is interesting. Wow. Lisa is going to tell you that she got in touch with Kelly because she believed their interest would be aligned in keeping video 4 a secret and getting it back from Keith. Kelly asked Lisa to come to Chicago to discuss the matter. When Lisa arrived, you'll learn that Kelly asked Lisa to strip down and get into a jacuzzi before Kelly would discuss the matter with her. Wow. Y'all hear this? Kelly. Oh. Kelly asked. Well, I'm telling y'all, the man, this is just, wow. Oh, I didn't know that, Kamiko. I didn't know she reached out to Kelly. I didn't know that. You'll learn about Lisa bringing up money. Kelly told Lisa that he'd give Lisa $250,000 to split between her and Keith to bring video 2, video 3, and video 4 back to Kelly. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a daggone minute here. Now, y'all know I am fair. Y'all know I's fair. Get it? One time for the one time.
Rewind.
You'll learn about Lisa bringing up money. Now that's pretty gone interesting, to say the least. Why? Because it was always perceived, or she perceived it to be, that she didn't bring up money. This was his idea. Wow. But we were reading here that we're going to learn about Lisa bringing up money. Wow. Okay, Lisa. Interesting. Ooh-wee. That's. Now, Kelly told Lisa that he'd give Lisa $250,000 to split between her and Keith to bring video 2, video 3, and video 4 back to Kelly. Lisa. Keith told Lisa to work with McDavid in order to make the arrangements to bring Kelly the tape to Chicago. And Lisa did work with McDavid. Lisa and Keith made multiple trips to Chicago in 2007 to bring back the tape containing video 2, video 3, and video 4. Lisa and Keith, they met with McDavid and Brown when they came to Chicago. You learn that McDavid forced Lisa, Lisa, and Keith to take lie detector tests to make sure they didn't make copies of video 2, video 3, and video 4. When Keith brought the tape containing video 2, video 3, and video 4, Brown told Keith that Keith had brought the golden egg. McDavid put that tape put the tape in, and he watched video 2, video 3, and video 4. And after McDavid watched it, you'll learn that McDavid gave Keith a hug. Look at it. And keep in mind, as you're listening to the evidence about Brown putting in a copy of video 4 into a VCR for Freeman and telling Keith that Keith had the golden egg, and McDavid watching video 2, video 3, and video 4 and giving Keith a hug, that Brown and McDavid had met Jane in real life before this. They knew who Jane was. Now, McDavid paid Keith $100,000, but McDavid only paid Lisa $80,000. McDavid blamed Lisa for having to pay Keith at all. And you're going to learn that he told Lisa that he should have murked her from the beginning. Yikes. Lisa is going to tell you what she interpreted that to mean. And after telling Lisa that he should have murked her, he sent Lisa to meet with Kelly's attorneys to give a statement that Kelly had never had sex with Jane. McDavid told Keith and Lisa that they would get the additional $50,000 to split between them after Kelly's trial in 2008 for having sex with Jane in video 1. Now, Kelly's criminal trial it did begin in 2008. In May of 2008, so just to recap, In 2008, before the trial began, Jane and her family had agreed to side with Kelly. Kelly's father was playing guitar for Kelly in order to support the family. Kelly, McDavid, and Brown had gotten video 2, 3, and 4 back to Kelly and had paid people with knowledge of their existence to keep quiet. So, what the defendants had hoped to accomplish in terms of getting witnesses on their side and gathering and concealing additional evidence that could be used against Kelly, you're going to learn that their plan worked. Jane and her family, they didn't testify in the 2008 trial. Jane is going to tell you that Kelly kept her hidden away, hotels and other places throughout the 2008 criminal trial. Kelly was acquitted in that state case in 2008, but Kelly, McDavid, and Brown, they still had to keep their secrets. McDavid and Brown still had to keep their secrets. They had to keep it a secret that they had successfully covered up Kelly's involvement in having sex with young girls and recording them. They had to cover it up and keep it a secret that they had obstructed that state court criminal proceeding against Kelly so that they wouldn't get in trouble. Kelly, McDavid, and Brown also had to keep their secrets because at this point, Kelly was on notice that the law enforcement authorities would investigate and prosecute him for creating and possessing child pornography, some of what, like video 2, 3, and 4, law enforcement hadn't recovered. Oh, see, I had no idea of that, Shaquila. I think it's, what is it, Shaquille? Am I saying that right? I had no idea about that. I didn't know. But Kelly, McDavid, and Brown were also aware that law enforcement could investigate and prosecute them for creating and possessing child pornography that included video 1. Now, you're going to hear during the trial that some witnesses, including Freeman, Keith, and Lisa, have received immunity as long as they testify truthfully in this case. And Lisa, she actually had immunity from the state and from the federal government during Kelly's 2008 criminal trial. Lisa testified against Kelly during that 2008 trial. Keith and Freeman, they received immunity from recently when they came forward in this case with evidence about video 2, 3, and 4. Now, I want to talk to you for a minute about how this trial is going to go. This trial, it's not complicated in terms of what the issues are. No, you're going to hear from a number of witnesses, and that's going to make this trial run a bit long. And due to the nature of the charges, there are going to be stretches where you're not hearing all 3 defendants' names that often. For example, if Nia or Pinky is telling you about how Kelly enticed them to engage in sex acts with them, you may not hear McDavid or Brown's name that often, if you hear it at all. And Brown and McDavid, they're not charged in those counts relating to the sex acts with the minor girls. Just remember, when you are hearing that the chronologically as I've laid it out for you. Hey, Linda. The efforts to get the child pornography tapes back and silence the witnesses, that came later in time. than the sex acts with the minor victims you're going to hear about. And you are going to hear from. I now want to talk to you for a moment about the minor victims. They're adult women now. They were young girls at the time, 14, 15, 16, and 17. But now they're women. So I don't want you to be caught off guard when you meet Jane and Nia for the first time and you see that they are older now than when they were minors. And Kelly was having sex with them. Jane, for example, was 13 or 14 years old when Kelly pursued her sexually. She's 37 years old now. I want to talk to you for a minute about video 4. Now, you're going to see video 1, 2, and 3, but you're not going to see video 4 during this trial. As I mentioned, the defendant's efforts to cover up Kelly's creation of child pornography, in some ways, they were successful because the defendants managed to get video 4 back and could tell you about it, like Lisa, Keith, and Freeman. You're also going to hear evidence that Brown and Kelly watched video 4 in front of Freeman, and that McDavid watched it when Keith brought it to McDavid, and Lisa is going to tell you about how video 4 was recorded. May I have the overhead, please? I have to talk to you about the charges in this case, and I summarized them for you at the beginning, but just so you all can see them, I have them summarized for you on this chart here. There are 13 counts in the indictment, and this chart that I'm showing to you has all 13 counts in the indictment, and the defendant against whom that count is charged. Counts 1 through 13 relate to videos 1, 2, 3, and 4 that I've been talking to you about. Those counts against Kelly. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think B is 5, if I'm not mistaken. Count B, I'll just put it like that, okay, is a conspiracy to obstruct justice count. And a conspiracy is the defendant's efforts to conceal Kelly's creation of child pornography and have sex with minor girls. We just talked about that. Count B1 or VI charges all 3 of the defendants, all 3 of them with the conspiracy to receive child pornography, videos 2, 3, and 4 that I've been talking to you about. Counts VII and VIII charge Kelly and McDavid with actually receiving child pornography, video 2, video 3, and video 4. Counts IX through XIII, those related to those minor victims that I've been talking to you about. Count IX relates to Kelly enticing Jane and coercing Jane to engage in criminal sexual activity with Kelly. Count X relates to Nia. Count XI relates to Tracy. Count XII relates to Pinky, who I've talked to you about. And count XIII, that relates to Brittany. Now, we as the government, I mentioned this as the start, we have a burden in this case. We have a burden to prove these counts in the indictment beyond a reasonable doubt. That's our burden. And based on the evidence that I've summarized for you, and we're going to summarize for you at the end, we're going to meet this burden. We're going to prove this case to you, all 13 counts in this indictment, beyond a reasonable doubt. And I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it. I'm going to tell you how we're going to prove it. It's going to be those first. It's going to be those victims that I've been talking to you about. They're going to tell you their stories, Jane and Tracy and Nia, Brittany and Pinky. They're going to come here. They're going to tell you what happened to them. Another way we're going to prove it, you're going to hear from a clinical psychologist. His name is Dr. Daryl Turner. He is going to talk to you talk to you about grooming. He is going to tell you what grooming is. He's going to talk to you about the grooming behavior of sex offenders against younger children. Another thing that Dr. Turner is going to talk to you about is delayed and or partial disclosure by victims, which is to say that victims may not disclose the things that happened to them when they were children until they're adults, if they disclose it at all. Another way we're going to prove it is those witnesses who played a role in gathering those tapes that I just talked to you about, Keith and Chuck Freeman and Lisa. And another way we're going to prove this case to you are those videos that I mentioned to you at the start. The videos are difficult to watch, but it's important for you all to watch those videos to understand that happened, what happened, the things that Kelly did to Jane. That's depicted in those videos. Sorry, I'm reading a comment. Republic, I'm gonna put you on a timeout. Don't talk about another YouTuber on my channel, sweetheart. Okay? No free publicity over here. I'm going to talk to you about what they're going to look like when you see them. We're not going to play an hour of child pornography and make you watch that. No, we're going to play snippets of the videos for you. So I don't want you to think anything other when you see video 1 and video 2 and video 3. And it's not the entire video. We have the entire videos. They'll be admitted into evidence, but when they're published for you to watch, you're going to be watching snippets, much shorter versions of them for you to get a flavor of what they are and what happened But so you won't have to watch those whole things. Now, at the end of this trial, we're going to come up to you and we're going to summarize this evidence for you again. And based on the evidence you're going to hear and see during this trial, we're going to ask you to enter a verdict. The only verdict consistent with this evidence, which will be a verdict of guilt, a verdict of guilty of all 13 counts in this indictment. Thank you. And we're going to stop here. I'm going to read the rest of this. Well, actually, no, we're going to stop here on page 495, and we're going to continue with Bone Jean. I'm going to try to come back this afternoon, if not this evening, to further finish this. We don't have many pages at all left. Roughly, probably like 30 more pages left. So I'm gonna come back possibly this afternoon, a little bit before I get the kiddos. If not, then I'll be back this evening. I'm gonna try to wrap this part up so we can go ahead and get into Rashonda's testimony. It will be this week when we get into it, but we're gonna wrap it up here. I don't want this video to be that long. Somebody please put $4.95 in the chat. $4.95, and I'm actually gonna update this. All right, you guys, we just wrapped up hearing the government's opening statements. Okay, we just read pages 463 through 495 of the opening statements. I told you guys I was going to backtrack to make sure that I get all of the transcripts in order for you guys. If you are ever wondering like how to catch up, all you have to do is go to my channel and click on my playlist, and you will see where it says R.Kelly transcripts and updates. And I always make sure that I, grab the videos and put them in there, so they'll be in there, and it's not going to be any different. As well as you can catch me on my my podcast, which is on Apple Podcasts, and you'll be able to actually listen to all the transcripts, and you just put it on there. Thank you, Katie Wadey. You can just listen through that, okay? Not for nothing, you guys, I will be back possibly this afternoon, for sure this evening. I pray you guys have a blessed and safe day. Enjoy this liquid sunshine for those that are enjoying it, okay? Okay, well, I love y'all so very much, but most of all, God loves you. You guys have a blessed and safe day. And I will see you guys on the next installation of Evidence Over Emotions, the road to Illinois trial for R.Kelly. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I'm Whitney D of WhitneyD TV and the producer of When Time Stopped. And I am here to let you guys know that we are casting for When Time Stopped 2, a docu-series on childhood sexual abuse. Now, myself, along with 3 other individuals, told our stories, but we want to hear from you. Now, are you ready to tell your story? Are you a survivor, or are you a parent? We would like to hear from you. Here's how you can submit.
When Time Stopped 2, now casting. Seeking female and male adults ready to share their story of sexual abuse, or parents of a child or children that have suffered from sexual abuse, and you are ready to speak about your journey. Email your story and contact information to WhitneyDavisPlanning@gmail.com. Suja, meaning long, beautiful life, embodies the promise that flows from the cold-pressed beverages it delivers in each and every bottle. Now today they carry on their founder's mission to get the best quality organic and non-GMO beverages into as many hands as possible. Now I am happy to say I am one of those hands. Yes, I'm Whitney D of WhitneyD TV, and I am a proud ambassador of Suja Juice. I love, personally, their vibrant probiotic juice, and their immunity elderberry shots got me and my family through the roughest times of COVID-19. Now, if you want to find a quick and resourceful way to take on all of your vitamins and nutrients, try sujajuice.com. Visit the description box down below to get more information, and let them know that Whitney D or WhitneyD TV sent you. Bye.
Sujajuice.com, okay? And you can actually pick up this juice at any of your retail stores, Walmart or Whole Foods. I am a brand ambassador, okay? Sujajuice.com, okay?